Can I start with a couple of injury specifics? Are you going to have Singleton, Woodward or Moyle available to you this week, please?
I mean, we're working through, those guys are sort of touch and go players, to be honest with you. We've got to make decisions on those guys at this sort of point, because obviously there's a combination of things. Obviously those guys haven't played any rugby, so they sit on a fine line at the moment, if I'm honest with you.
And how is Willie after Friday?
Yeah, Willie's okay. Yeah, he took a bang in the calf, and we just thought it was better to get him off rather than push him through something to make it any worse. But he's being managed right now, but he's in a good spot.
Okay, so I mean, you spoke positively about Charlie's performance when he came on against Exeter. You obviously got Stephen Varney back from the Six Nations. That's going to be an interesting selection conundrum for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a nice one to have. I thought Charlie did a great job when he came on. I thought he was, I thought he was controlled, but he brought some real speed and pace to what we were doing. But as I say, it was in a controlled manner, which is something he's been working really hard on. And I thought he did a great job. And I thought the basics of being a scrum half, his kicking, his passing was brilliant, as well as his moments where he sped the game up and obviously got a try. So from his point of view, it was a good performance. Obviously Steve coming back from Italy is a boost. Steve's had a really good campaign for Italy, and he's desperate to get out and play for Gloucester now. So yeah, nice conundrum for the coaches.
You can't talk about the Six Nations without talking about Chris Harris as well, because he's been excellent for Scotland. Has he got another big game in him? As you put Reece Sammit and May back in last week, could you put Chris straight back in? Is he running on adrenaline? Yeah,
I mean, Chris, obviously you've got to manage these guys and not just like you say, it's a big deal playing in the Six Nations, and take a little bit out of you. But Chris is really hungry. He's desperate to play. He's always the first one back in saying, I want to play. No doubt about it. So yeah, no, he's available for selection, definitely.
You said you watched a lot of La Rochelle. Who in the Prem would you compare them to?
Who in the Prem? That's a good question. I think they're actually very different. I'm trying to make a likeness in my mind, but I think they've got some real strengths. They've got a big pack. So I'll be honest, I don't think there's really a comparable pack to them in the Premiership at this point in time, because they've got characters like Will Skelton, who are, he's a seriously big man. We saw it when he played for Sarries. He can destroy mauls, on his own. So from that point of view, I'm not sure who you'd compare them to, but they've got a very big, efficient pack and an extremely exciting backline. And what they do, their processes that they have, they're very, very efficient in. So there's a good reason they are where they are in the French league, second place, which, like I say, they've clearly got very good systems and they're effective with it. But I wouldn't know who to compare. There's bits and pieces from all sorts of teams, but they wouldn't. I can't think of an exact likeness really.
So you would call it an all-court game, would you, theirs?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they like I say, they use their strengths really well. Is the best way I could describe La Rochelle. I think they worked out who can do what, and they're going to do it really well. And obviously they've got Vito and people like that in there as well. So it's a pretty star-studded team, and I think it's very well coached from the games I've watched.
And that actually is to sort of back up that point. Only two players in the French squad. I mean, Aldry and Dulin. So the quality must come from elsewhere as well, mustn't it?
Yeah, well, as I say, Skelton's one who jumps out. They've got a couple of centres there, and who else? Well, they've got. I don't want to reel off all the names, so I'll pronounce them all wrong. But they've got some good players at 9 wings. They're a little bit star-studded from the point of view. But as you say, yeah, I think there's 3 returning from the French squad actually. But yeah, they'll only strengthen what's been really good. And as we saw, they beat Bordeaux on the weekend pretty convincingly without their internationals.
Yeah, that was probably their best away result of the season, actually. They have won at Edinburgh, though. I just wonder whether you picked up the phone to Richard Cockerell at all.
No, I didn't. I did think about it, but I watched that. I watched that game. That was one of the first games I watched actually, and Edinburgh managed to get themselves back in the game a few times. But I thought La Rochelle, they They were on top. They probably didn't capitalise on a couple of opportunities they have. But no, I didn't touch base with Cockles for this one.